Hi, Jen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing all right today. Happy Friday.
Thank you. Back at you.
How are you feeling today, pain-wise?
Pain wise, you know what? To be honest, not too bad. Started the morning pretty chill. Some nerves definitely kicked in, which kicks in my pain. So I definitely have a little bit here, uh,
Yeah,
but not too debilitating today, which is awesome.
good. I'm so glad to hear that. And we're not going to take too much of your time because I don't want to make your pain any worse, but I am so excited to introduce you to everybody.
I,
You have been an integral part of getting on my nerves since the beginning. Um, and I'm just so excited to have you as part of the Warrior family, Jen. Thank you for all your support. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
okay. Jennifer McLean. I was diagnosed with TN. It was trauma induced from a car accident in 2018. Was diagnosed in 2019, had microvascular decompression in 2020. There's a little bit, I guess, of the TN story. Other than that, I'm a mom of two teenage girls and an awesome husband who does forensics with the National Police here in Canada.
You have such a cool background and such a cool family story. I love it so much.
Thank you. The teen girls I'd sell most days or give away for free, depending on phones.
And you don't just have the two, you have another adopt or bonus daughter, so you call it, right? Do you want to tell us about her?
For sure. So we were lucky enough in October to have a student from Germany. She recently left in January, and then we took in a student from Spain. So she's 15, same age as my oldest, and shares our home. So we have three teenage girls right now.
So you have your hands full on top of TN.
Yes, I do. Yes, I guess being a mom is demanding. I am on disability, so I have the blessing of not working, but definitely demanding good days and bad days on my ability to be a mom or be a present mom.
Totally. How do you manage being a mom? As you know, I'm not a mom yet, so I'm always curious to see how you do it. You always have a great attitude. You're always smiling. So tell us how you do it.
I don't know how I do it someday. Maybe a few glasses of wine at the end of the bad days. I have good kids, so I am very blessed. For the most part, TN, they are sympathetic. They understand. They know mom can't do things on bad days. So I'm very lucky that way. And there's the shitty days as there is for everyone, whether you have kids or don't have kids. We all have crappy days, especially if you have TN.
Exactly. So how do you deal with, those days where the girls maybe aren't so understanding and, we can expect they're teenage girls. We were all teenagers at one time. So, how do you deal with those days where your family is maybe not as supportive as you'd like?
I don't I find the mom guilt kicks in. I think mom guilt kicks in for moms of all ages, no matter if they're battling a disability or not. So I feel bad, of course, on those days. And I've got the comments, oh, mom, your face hurts again. That's why you can't do blank. So I don't know if I deal with those days very well. I don't have any magic. Trying to avoid the spiral of mom guilt and the spiral of negative thinking is
Yeah,
what I would say. And accepting the day for what it is. Better days come, but try not to dwell on it's just a day.
I love that. Just focusing on the bad moment and not making it more than what it is.
Yeah, I think that's probably better articulated than me, Jess.
Oh no, you're fine. What does a flare day look for you when you're having look like for you? What do you do? How do you keep going? How do you manage the pain? What makes you feel better?
um, Napping, definitely. Like yesterday, pain wise was a little bit higher. I had some orthodontic work done this week, so that contributes. So definitely, sorry, my phone keeps going dark, so I've touched the screen.
No,
Uh,
you're fine.
Now, yesterday was a couple naps. Unfortunately, two of the three girls got diagnosed with COVID yesterday too, so that
Ugh,
contributes to stress, which contributes to pain. Um, Heat, definitely. The neck stretcher that you shared, that another TN warrior shared, has been awesome. I try to meditate on the neck stretcher just to force myself to stop, calm down that nervous system.
I love that.
And
Um, Go ahead.
as most of us do, we balance mental health with our physical health with TNs. So definitely, if I can do something to bring up my spirit, I think
Yes.
it's super important.
Do you want to talk more about that mental health aspect of it? And, we don't talk enough about it. And I talk about myself, but what does it look like for you?
Um, well, I think I shared with you, Justin, we had a FaceTime this week that, last week on Friday, I was having a bad pain day, but I really wanted time with a girlfriend. So we went snowshoeing for 1 kilometer. Not intense, not far, but I knew my spirit needed it. Physically, I threw up that night. So do I always know what I need on any given day? No. And that was a day I balanced and put mental health before physical health.
I love that. And I know when we talked prior, you talked about that balance and, giving your spirit what you need, but then taking the toll physically after.
Yeah, I think that is a vicious balance that is almost daily.
Yeah. And
Uh,
go
yeah,
for it.
of balancing, you know, our physical and mental. It's every day is different.
Yes, totally. I think you were talking about you focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do. Do you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think, we try to maintain that positivity because when you get in that negative spiral or that negative time, you spend time there. So try not to spend a lot of time there, be more present, doing what boosts your spirit, even if you push the pain, is worth it mentally to not spend time in that negative space. I've had people say, well, how do you do it? And I said, well, the opposite is curling up in bed. And like most of us with TN, I think we want to do whatever we can.
Exactly. You're so right. I think this is a good time for my normal disclaimer that these are just Jen's experiences and what works for her. So if anything that she talks about here interests you, please make sure to consult with your medical team and find what will work best for you. So thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your experiences with us. I know you talked with me about some things that you do around the house to save your energy. Do you want to share some of those things that you do?
Sorry, Jess, I have to remember back to what we talked about there that, I guess I have the assistance financially of a home care service. So I have housekeepers that come in twice a week. That really alleviates some of those bigger tasks like vacuuming, mopping, to save my energy to be either a mom, to be a wife, to be myself a little bit more. I also throw cash at my kids to do tasks I can't do or don't do.
I love that.
I paid my youngest $20 to shovel the driveway the other day. I, you know, could I have done it and suffered? Yes. But my daughter just made some money and she was happy to do it for $20.
And you saved your energy.
And so yeah, it's twofold.
Exactly. That's a couple spoons in your tool belt for later that you can use for yourself.
That's true, I guess. That, yeah, I save my energy for, being present or what I want to do with my time.
Exactly. So, who are you outside of TN, Jen? What do you like to do outside of all of this?
I think, living here in Canada, and we live in a warmer part of Canada, so we are blessed with every season being somewhat defined. We do have winter now, so we can ski and snowshoe. I'm not skiing this year, but I have done a little bit on a good day. Snowshoeing is nice because we can do it as long as the weather's mild and not windy. I can usually go out, it's equivalent to walking. Bundle up and put my balaclava on, and away I go. We enjoy boating in the summer, hiking. Spring and fall are what they are depending on the weather, if we can get out. Definitely enjoy outside activities. I love being with my family, having adventures. My husband and I went fishing on the ocean here in September. We really enjoyed those adventures. And I
You have some amazing pictures from all your outdoor experiences. I love it.
try to focus on that. Did I suffer for some of the hikes we did when we went away in September? I did. But we tried to balance out a couple days of suffering in our vacation planning, and we didn't book an activity again till 3 or 4 days after.
That's really smart. So you can kind of plan the itinerary before you go on your trip and save your energy that way too.
Yeah,
Do you,
that my husband's understanding, and that's exactly what we did,
I
is just
love that.
balance those while you're on vacation.
Do you like to travel a lot?
Uh, we have enjoyed it in the past. We've been on, some cruises down to some states, and my girls are lucky enough they're going to Europe this summer that I think they have a bit of travel in them as well. But as COVID has affected us all,
Yes,
it's
that totally makes sense.
minimal now that we have to battle through COVID tests to get anywhere.
Ugh, I know it'll be a lot easier when those days are over.
Yes, my hopes as well. I think you plan to meet as soon as we can have those travel restrictions eased.
Absolutely. I would love to meet you and all the other warriors. TN Warrior Meetup is something that you actually suggested very early on.
I think it's nice if we know we're not alone. Having a rare disease and a rare condition, I think it's common we feel alone. And until you created this community, I didn't know anyone else with TN.
Wow, that's huge. So have you ever met somebody else with TN?
No, not in Canada. My pretty rare, I think, friends of friends have been, oh, my friend has it. But I haven't met an individual myself that could be in my life until you started this amazing group.
That's amazing, Jen. That seriously just gives me chills just hearing you say that. And, it's incredible to see that other people are suffering just as much as we are and trying to get through life, managing the pain and the mental aspect of it. So, hearing your experiences are so uplifting to someone like me who, is questioning, should I have a family? Is it even possible with TN? What would you say to that?
I would say it's extremely possible because you would raise very empathetic, caring, loving humans. And that would adamantly be what I'd suggest to people who have a TN diagnosis and aren't parents yet, is who you are suffering from a chronic non-objective injury creates little beautiful children who know what that is.
I love that. And I can see your daughters, so supportive of you and getting on my nerves shirts and, doing the 5K with you. And it's really awesome to see just your family behind you.
Well, the shitty days don't get posted on Instagram, so I will completely that always loving, caring, patient humans with mom.
I love that. I mean, we'll give them a little slack because they are teenagers.
Yes, hormones can be strong some days.
Oh, yes. You also have an adorable dog over there. Do you want to talk about him?
Sure, I have my Roscoe. He is a Beagle Cavalier King Charles Spaniel Cross. So he is all the great, wonderful traits of those two breeds. He's loyal. He's, cuddly and loves his mama bear. He's a mama's boy for sure.
Oh,
That he is so sweet that we're very blessed to have him as part of our house. It's quite comical because my husband didn't want him, but he loves him.
that's always how it goes,
Yeah,
right?
I heard that before as well. The human that didn't want the dog is who the dog loves the most.
Oh, yeah. Does Roscoe pick up on any of your TN flares or your cues? Is he good? Is he a good support that way?
He does at times. Like there's day he doesn't pick on the up on the cues, but there's every morning I sit after the girls are off to school and have my coffee, and he has to be with me.
Oh,
Then I'm sure, there's some cues to the start of the day, whether I'm in pain or not, that he wants to start his day snuggling with mom.
that's absolutely adorable.
Yeah, he is pretty sweet.
You'll have to check out Jen's Instagram. She has some cute pictures of him playing in the snow. I love to see them.
Yeah, he jumps like a seal when we go snowshoeing when the snow's super deep. So that was a comical video I posted not that long ago.
I love that video. It's such a good watch. You have to go back and watch it if you haven't seen it. Um, you love going to events too. Do you want to talk about what kind of events you like to go to with your husband?
Well, pre-COVID, again, we had more of a
Yes.
life. Currently, we went to a stand-up comedy show a couple weeks ago with friends. We have a little local hockey team here. I believe we have a team in Portland that in the WHL as well. So Washington State has some Western Hockey League teams like we do here in Kamloops. So we'll go to a hockey game. Um, just getting out and being out is so important, even if I suffer days after. I think for my spirit, it's really important, whether it be a date night or out socially with friends, that is really important, being an extrovert for my mental health.
I love that. And you're so social and inviting, and I can always see you, spreading love and spending time with your friends. I love to see it.
Thank you. Yeah, there are, again, shitty days to that too. There's days I cancel, there's days, I have empathetic friends who understand on those days. But I think
I
what
love that.
fills your cup, it's important to do as a person suffering with TN.
I think that's really important to do what fills your cup, like you said, and keep your joy going. There's so much that TN takes from us, and you really bring so much joy into your own life and into mine as well.
Thank you. I back to the fact that we have each other dealing with this. It's so important to not feel alone, or to be that person you can talk to when you're feeling guilty for canceling again, when you're feeling mad or frustrated that you have this diagnosis. Not being alone is so important.
I agree. As we wrap it up here, what do you want people to know about trigeminal neuralgia?
I think what's my hope is that people know we're not lying. And I know that sounds awful and candid, but for months I didn't have a diagnosis, but I knew something was wrong with me. And in that time period, I don't think I had a lot of valid, empathetic people that, prior to a diagnosis, someone still has TN.
Yeah,
And that's really important to me, that people know that we suffer greatly. I haven't had ice cream in years, or cold food, or ice in my drinks. Every time we go to a restaurant, I have to be like, can I have water without ice? That there are such little ways TN ruins your life. That people with it, people with prior to a diagnosis, people who suffer any non-objective injury deserve love, and especially for the things they can't do.
I love that so much, Jen. I think that people don't even recognize the little things that we have to do, like you said, such as no ice in my water every time, and how frustrating it is to have to do that. And I miss having ice cold water.
I miss blended drinks. I can't, blended or a slurp, like anything slurpy type have, as most with TN can't, that you miss those things.
Absolutely. Do
That
you
you
have any do you have any advice for new warriors, people who are just being diagnosed and don't know, what the heck is going on?
think I would find warriors knowing that this group exists. These are the super positive aspects of social media. We're so quick to criticize social media for all the negative ways it affects our life and failing to look at all the positives. And this is, find that empathetic ear, whether it be someone with TN or someone in your life, they listen to you. I think would be the advice I'd give someone is just, you're not alone.
I
And
love that so much. Go
it,
for it. You had one more thing to say.
it may take some extra work to find that person, but that would be find your people.
I love that. What about people? Oh, there's Emma coming in to say hi.
Hello, Miss Emma.
What advice do you have for people who don't have TN, who are trying to help and just can't really understand it?
I think you've posted a couple things on this page over the years too, on just ways we can listen and actually hear. Acknowledge is so important because you can't see us. You can't see by looking at you and I that we have these tremendous shocks in our face, or we have burning sensations in our face, that I think it's so important for that support person to acknowledge the validity of someone with TN.
Yes,
They're not
preach.
they're not lying to you. And same, it goes with mental health as well. Someone, who suffers from depression, anxiety, suicidal thought, they're not lying to you. Don't disregard them.
I feel that in my soul. I'm so glad you said that, Jen. It's so important for everybody to acknowledge that and to not disregard feelings like that. If you are having any feelings of suicidal thoughts, please make sure to get help. I have mental health resources available on the website. I'll post them after this live. Jenn, I thank you so much for sharing your energy with us today. Is there anything else you want to say to the community or anything else you want to talk about before we go?
I think I want to say thank you to the TN community, as a Canadian with TN and as someone who hasn't felt support until this page, to have the messages, the comments, the opportunity to do these lives, to meet others, to talk to others. So thank you everyone for being there, whether you're here as a person who suffers TN or you're here as a support for that person. We have the ability to learn so much from each other.
I love that, Jenn. You always fill my heart. Jenn is so welcoming. She's hilarious. Shoot her a DM. I promise you, you won't regret it. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. I'm so grateful to know you.
Thank you, Jess. What you have done is, like I've said to you before, the definition of success. You are
Thank
so
you.
successful and creative group.
You're so sweet, Jenn. Stay strong, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jess.